So, I've seen Avengers Endgame, I have some thoughts. But first, this video is going to contain full spoilers for the movie, so if you haven't watched it yet, go see that and then watch this. With that said, on to the review. So first, there was some really great stuff about this movie. Like, I know everyone's getting a bit over them recasting Batman for every second movie, but I actually thought that Chadwick Boseman did a really good job. I just wish they'd given him a bit more to do. The other character who felt a little bit like one note to me was Groot. I really felt like he could have had a little bit more dialogue in this one. I also thought it was a bit of a weird choice for them to make Hulk purple in this one. Actually, I think they might have done that for Infinity War too. I don't really get it. Also, did they have to make him the villain suddenly? Like, I know he's always had that like aggressive streak, but the whole wipe out half the universe thing felt like a bit of a stretch even for him. And like, not to be overly critical, but I noticed a bunch of other like little mistakes in this movie too. Like all the scenes where they forgot to CGI on Thor's muscles. Seriously, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there are multiple shots in the movie where Thor is literally standing there with his shirt off and you can just see Chris Hemsworth's regular old beer gut just sagging out there in the middle of the shot. Meanwhile, what was up with giving Green Arrow swords instead of a bow and arrow for the first half of this movie? Like, I know after 22 movies there's a lot of continuity to keep track of, but this just felt really sloppy. Also, what is this franchise's obsession with giving multiple characters the same name? Like, do we really need a Howard Stark and a Howard Potts? Do we really need a Scarlet Witch and a Scarlett Johansson? It just feels needlessly confusing. Also, and look, I know it must be hard to come up with new concepts after 22 movies, but did anyone else get the feeling in like the whole middle section of the movie that we'd seen some of this before? Like, cool, another alien invasion of New York, more Chris Pratt dancing on an alien planet, Natalie Portman getting possessed by the ether again. It was like they were just recycling stuff from old movies on purpose. Meanwhile, not to brag, but I totally called the big twist where at the very end of the movie, right before he clicks his fingers, Tony Stark tells everyone, "I am Iron Man." Like, I know finding out Iron Man's secret identity after all of these years was meant to be some shocking secret, but it just seemed pretty obvious. To me, at least. One last thing. Am I really the only one who didn't really buy the scene at the very end of the movie where Stan Lee gives Captain Falcon the Captain America shield? Like, I know they wanted to give Stan Lee this fitting send-off or whatever, but you could totally tell that that was just Chris Evans under a bunch of old guy makeup. Anyway, sorry, I know some of you are probably going to say I'm being overly negative, but like, I've got to be honest, because if I'm not, then like, this review is just nonsense.